Three, two, one.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our newest episode of the Drop Bag Podcast. Kelly and I are very excited. We have two special guests with us for this episode, fresh off the Javelina 100, where they both rocked it. Incredible athletes, amazing people. We have Aimee Jacobs with us. You want to give us a little hello, Aimee? There we go. There's Aimee. And we have Courtney Rouse. Is that how you say the last name? Yes. Okay. I was like, Bruce Rouse. Oh gosh, don't get this wrong. But um, two amazing female runners. They just finished the Javelina 100, and they were so gracious to give us their time today to do a little race recap for us, talk about the race a little bit, talk about themselves, and their sort of their running journey so far. But yeah, so let's start off. Let's start off with Aimee. This is Aimee Jacobs. You guys are both from San Antonio region, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Good to know. Good to know because I'm in that area. I'm gonna call you up for a run.
Oh,
Yeah,
please do.
I'm in
Totally
Houston.
great. There's surprisingly
Yeah.
some decent trails around here too. Yeah. So
Oh yeah. No, it's Houston stinks. So anytime I'm in San Antonio, I'm thrilled.
Yeah, so both from San Antonio region. Um, so Aimee, from what I've learned, stalking you a little bit and meeting you at Dino Valley 100, which I think was your first 100, correct?
yes, that's
Yeah,
correct.
so we briefly, well, we didn't really like meet. It was more me passing or less like passing like paths because it was a looped course, and me just being like, "Wow, that girl is incredible." that's that's how I met Amy. um, but so ultra runner, U.S. Army PT, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, yeah, physical therapist. And so tell us a little bit more about yourself. Like I know you recently got into sort of the ultra running world, correct?
Yeah. So my first ultra was a 50K in November of 2023. And so not too long ago at all. And I thought it was incredibly hard and thought it was a crazy distance to do. And then I had a friend convince me to upgrade to the Bandera 100K 2 months later instead of doing the 50K. So I did. And it was also incredibly hard. And then for some reason decided to sign up for Dino 100 after that and kind of fell in love with the ultra distance and specifically the 100-mile distance from there.
Okay. Okay, so the 100 miler sort of hooked you.
Yes, absolutely.
That's awesome. It was a good race. Challenging course too. So that sort of got you. What have you always been a runner?
I yes, I started running fairly young, like junior high time period, but it was more related to triathlons. And so I did my first half Ironman when I was 15, I think. And then did quite a few, probably like over a dozen by the time I had graduated from college or from high school. And then did some ITU long course triathlon events, 2 Ironmans, and did like cycling team through college as well. So really was more in the triathlon scene and cycling scene, and then I joined the army. Or I was in the
Mhm.
army, but commissioned as an officer and deployed right away, and kind of got away from competing for a little while.
Okay. Wow. So, but not new to the, I guess, endurance world. That's sort of always been in your wheelhouse.
Yes, I've always loved doing really long, more challenging things, and then even when I wasn't
Mhm.
competing, I got into doing a lot of backpacking,
Mhm.
and I was stationed in Washington State, like JBLM, Seattle area, and did a ton of backpacking, like, would just take off for a weekend or go skiing and do longer trips, just being outdoors, but it was more adventuring and not as much competing and racing at that point.
Mhm. I actually was just out in Washington State in that area, and I fell in love with it, so I can't even
It is
imagine the years you
so
went on.
beautiful. Yeah.
So beautiful. Okay, okay. So now let's see it. Courtney, so I also did like a little bit of stalking on you too. And from what I've learned, also kind of newish to ultra running, correct me if I'm wrong, but you are like speedy fast in shorter distances.
Yeah, I've been running for a while. I guess a little more boring of a story, just like the kid in soccer, like that you've heard this story a million times, who can like run the entire game, but like maybe not the most talented. And then once like track and cross country were school sports, then it was like found my thing. Went through college, competed there. But my first year in college went really well, and then not much after that,
Mm,
uh, fortunately. And so I'm actually like just now getting back to my freshman year of college times in like the 5K. So like just badass 13 years ago. Um,
uh,
and I don't know, I was never like deterred from like thinking I could get back there, but like every year I was like, maybe it'll be this year. And then, like,
mm,
I'd like chip away like another like 10 seconds or something. And like to be fair, I haven't focused on the 5K that much. Like once I found the marathon, then I was like that. And um I was living in Florida in for grad school, and that's where I got into the marathon. And then when I moved to Texas, I had I was kind of like I was pretty obsessed with like watching ultra running and like looking at all the documentaries and like
mm,
I don't know, like I guess back even just like 5, 10 years ago, it wasn't you weren't like following professional runners on social media, but I was like tracking Western states and back when it was just like the Iron Far tweet updates and stuff. So when I moved here, I was like, Bandera, that sounds really familiar. And because it was a golden ticket race. So then immediately I was like, oh, I have to do the 50K. And then kind of since then, I guess my trajectory wasn't as steep as Amy's because I just did my first 100 miler at
mm.
Javelina, but yeah, always been rough.
Always been running. That's cool. Okay, so you came from like the speedy like 5K mileage distances to then the marathons, which kind of made you think you would say that that's kind of what made you fall in love with like the longer distances as opposed to like the really short fast ones.
Yeah, I mean, even when I was younger, like in elementary school, I knew like the short distances weren't for me. I remember elementary school track meet, the longest distance they had was an 800. And I was like, well, this sucks. Like, I want to win something. This isn't my thing. Um,
Uh,
so my dad was like, well, if they did anything longer, like nobody else would sign up. So,
mhm.
but then you get to college and or high school, college, everything starts to get a little longer, more
Yeah.
options.
Yeah. And then fast forward to now where it's like 100-mile distances and it's just like like
I know. I thought it was funny you're saying, like, the shorter, speedy stuff is a 5K with most people like, my daughter right now is trying to get ready for our turkey trot 5K, and she's just dying. And I'm like,
Yeah, in high
a
school, the
5K to a lot of
2
people is quite long.
milers.
that is true. That is funny how like my brain now naturally associates that with like like short and
Super
speedy.
fa
I'm like,
no, it
oh,
is,
it's
like,
only
I
100
it's
miles.
so fast and painful, I don't wanna do it.
Exactly.
I'm right there in that boat. Okay. So you said Courtney so Javelina was your first 100.
Mhm.
Um let's well actually before we dive into Javelina cuz I have a million questions about Javelina. Let's talk about your we'll start with the drop bag item. So, usually for each one of our episodes, we ask our guests to just talk about something that was useful to them during the race. It could have been in a drop bag if you had one. If not, like a food item or a piece of equipment, or it's just something that you thought was like really beneficial to you in this race.
So for me, definitely precision caffeine gels because I was feeling so flat and ended up taking so many of those just to continue on with the race. So I did have them in my drop bag, also had them at the main crew station, and was planning on just taking one lap. Got to the third lap and I was just like, I need more. So I had a lot of caffeine on that course that day.
How much caffeine is in each of those?
100
You know?
milligrams per
Okay.
gel. Yeah, it was there's a lot of caffeine.
Okay, this is something I thought was really I I thought was interesting because one of the races I did recently, I had some caffeine for kind of later in the night because it was a noon start, so you'd be running all night, and I kinda got to, like, 2 AM, and I'm like, I never really needed the caffeine, and I was like, "Great, okay, I'll just keep going without it." And then I was listening to I think it was on Single Track with Tara Dower, and she had 900 milligrams of caffeine and then, like,
Mhm.
couldn't sleep, after the race, or she said she struggled the next night as well, and I was like, 900 is a lot, but, it can give you that boost you need for sure.
Yeah, I
So,
worked
Amy, do you have an idea of how much you had in you?
I mean, I also got to the couldn't sleep after for that and other reasons, but I normally don't need that much caffeine, but I was just having a day where I was flat, and so it was 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, it was 900 milligrams of caffeine over the course of
Alright,
the
that was
race.
good
So, yeah, it
caffeine
was a lot. There
maintenance for the
wasn't
day. That's
survivors.
awesome. Yeah, I guess it made me think, like, maybe I don't need I don't know. So personally, before I have a race, I always get off of caffeine, like, no caffeine for minimally, like, 2 weeks before, because I want it to be really effective if I do use it in a race, and there's probably no science behind that, it's just my mental
There's
thing,
a little. I don't know about 2,
and
but
maybe it helps a little, but then I was like, "You know what? If you need it, you need it," and I think hearing that from Tara and now you, Amy, like, it takes a little bit of the fear out of it for me, like, it's okay, you are burning through everything so quickly in your body, like, having, what normally would be a lot of caffeine during one of these races, like, it's okay, you're not gonna do any permanent damage, just get yourself through the race, right?
exactly.
Okay, so that's the
Should I go my drop bag item?
yeah, let's go with you.
I'm gonna go with ginger beer, which is not something I planned on consuming. I've had like ginger ale once, but during a race, but I didn't know it's not like gingery enough. I don't know if it does anything. But we were eating dinner like 2 nights before, and they had like cute mocktails at the restaurant. And I was like, oh, we were going to go to the grocery store and get like tons of carbs for the day before. And so I was going to get some sodas and stuff just to like sip on throughout the day. And I was like, well, if I get ginger beer, I can drink it tomorrow and during the race. That'll be good. And every lap, like my crew would have one out and I'd take at least a few sips. And it was perfect. I mean, I don't know if that's why I didn't have stomach issues or if it just was
Mhm.
like a good mix up from like really sweet to like it was the kind of ginger beers that were like hard to drink almost because they're like so spicy. The extra ginger ones. Yeah, I love taste. So that was my fun thing.
That's all I've never had ginger beer, I don't think. So that's
Oh,
like
girl.
it's very
So
different
You're
than
good.
ginger.
like
During a race, now I'm gonna need to.
yeah, I mean, you can get them. Yeah, you can get them really strong. I remember one time I came out of doing rim to rim Grand Canyon, rim to rim to rim, and luckily, I was so nauseous by the end of it, and there's, like, this little bar that's open on the North Rim, and they sell ginger beer, and I was like, "Bring me 5 because it was sometimes, like, it's the only thing that really even sounds good, and it does really settle my stomach at least, like, I've had good experiences with it, so that's smart, though, I never really thought to take it to a race.
Yeah, I also had
I
the like
like that.
ginger chews, but that I don't know if it
Uh-huh.
helps my stomach, but I at least tried it during training. And I was like, well, it doesn't hurt my stomach, so it's
Mhm.
worth a shot.
Okay, that's a good I like it.
Yeah,
Some
I'll
good
have to try that.
suggestions.
I've seen the ginger chews. I
Mhm.
haven't tried them during races, but I've just, like, eaten them before, like, because they
Yeah.
taste good. So, but I'll have to try that. I'll have to keep that in mind because I dabble with stomach issues quite often. So, try that. Um, okay, so, oh, Kelly, do you have a drop bag item?
Oh, do I? I'm not prepared.
Oh, no, it's okay. I was just I
I
was
was
just curious.
prepared to listen.
I was just curious. No, it's okay. Um,
I'm prepared to listen, and I'm still chatting a lot. No, we can skip me. I don't really have anything too
that's fine. I
special.
think we got 2 good ones, so I think that's
I did post Megan influenced me to buy the Go macro bars,
oh,
and my shipping came in,
They're so good.
so I haven't gone on a run with them yet, but
they are
I've
so
Haven't tried
good.
them on a run, but I've had them right
yeah, I've
before a run.
sampled
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
so they
showed them to
actually
my
they make, the mini ones now. I don't know if you guys have seen those. So, like, they have the full ones that are just, like they're all delicious, but they have ones that are called Gomac I think they're called minis, but they're a perfect, like, they're, like, obviously much smaller, but they're each packaged and they're 100 calories, so it's like a gel almost. So you can
wow,
almost
that's
treat it
cool.
like taking a gel, so I've been doing that because, like, all of a sudden my body has like revolted against gels. I don't know why,
Oh,
but like
no.
I've had awful experiences as of late. Like even just like one or two. I needed to find some um actual like food items like sources for carbs. So I started going to them and I love them. So, but
Nice.
um yeah. So just another item on the list to try. But
to be influenced on. I was like,
to be
"Megan, anything
influenced
Megan
by.
suggests, I try." I'm like, "Okay."
Also vice versa. So we're um okay. So since we already kind of touched on Javelina a little bit, let's start with like your like how did the race play out for each of you? So I know Aimee, I know you specifically had mentioned you posted something about like a goal that you had in mind at a time, and I know that it didn't quite go the way you wanted. So like how was that goal compared to like how the race played out? Just kind of give us like a broad sort of overview.
Yeah, I was honestly feeling really good going into the race with my training and what I've been doing, and after because I did Leadville 2 months ago, and so training was very different for that, obviously, and I felt like speed had finally kinda clicked in the last couple of weeks leading into Javelina, and so I had my aggressive goal was sub 17 hours and thought it would be reasonable to do in, like, first lap. Plan was to kinda keep it under control, like, 3 to 4 perceived effort, and felt like I did that well, and went into the second lap, and I just really fell flat. Like, that's why I ended up taking so much caffeine for the day, like, and I was telling Courtney after, like, I was like, I've had a couple of training runs like that where you the perceived effort was up, heart rate was definitely up, and my paces just kept on going down, instead of going up, and so it was a struggle in a different way, but that second lap, I was just thinking like, "Hey, it's a long race, that's okay, like, like, we'll get through this lap, and then we'll turn around and can just kinda keep the effort where it needs to be," and that never really happened, unfortunately, so it ended up being a push through, remember my why, and just, like, in a weird sense, like, take joy in the suffering, and no, that can maybe sound a little, like, sadistic, but, like, just take joy in the suffering, and it's just such an amazing atmosphere at Javelina, like, just ever like, the community, being a part of it, and just really getting to be out there and run, and knowing, like, my why behind it, like, that really drove me the race.
That's awesome. So I talk about your why a little bit because I know a little bit about why you were running. You were out there for a very special cause. So just give us a little bit about that. Like why were you out there?
Yeah, like, it's hard to say in, like, a very short, like, summary, but I'll try to do the brief so
Mhm.
like, I ran into actually another runner on the course, close to the halfway point, and neither of us were where we wanted to be for the day, and he was actually telling me that he was just like, I think I'm gonna call it at Jackass Junction." I'm like, "No, you can't." Like like, in his next big race is, I think, Black Canyon, so he had some time, and I was like, "Just keep on pushing," and he had asked me for what my why was, and I'm like, "Well, how deep do you wanna go?" Like, what do you wanna know right now? But, so August 2024, I was diagnosed with chondrosarcoma in my pelvis, and I, at the time, was told I have to have it taken out or it would kill me. I have an awesome medical team, and I convinced them to let me to do Dino Valley first, and to finish up, I was doing a clinical fellowship, and I needed the clinical hours to finish it. So I also needed to finish my hours. And they said as long as I had it out within 6 months, I should be okay. And so they basically had me on a surveillance plan while I was finishing training for Dino and finishing my fellowship, and thought I was going to be doing uh getting the hemipelvectomy and reconstruction 2 weeks after Dino Valley, and when I did my pre-op scans, which the timing of it is kind of ironic from this race too, but I did my pre-op scans the Tuesday after Dino Valley, and my tumor hadn't changed at all, and it is a malignant bone tumor, and they were expecting it to have changed, and my ortho-oncologist at the time had said, "I know previously I told you that you need to get this removed or it would kill you, but now I'm telling you, run. Like, use this time, do what you love, and because we don't know what that's gonna look like after." And I've always loved running, and I've just fallen in love with the sport, so I took that as my green light to sign up for all my, like, dream races this year, and, Javelina was always on that list, Leadville, also did, like, some fun local races and then some other really beautiful just other races, like 50 milers this year, and but wanted to do it for something bigger, and my ortho-oncologist does pro bono work for Christus Children's, which is a local hospital here in San Antonio that their cancer center provides care to underinsured and uninsured children. And so I was asking him for things that I could do for fundraising, and he told me about a couple of different places, and I decided to go with that and set up a fundraiser through them so that all of my races, once I finally got it through legal review and everything else, that all of my races I could fundraise for, like, people could pledge an amount per mile beforehand, and then I would choose kind of a ambitious time goal to go after for a bonus amount for a fundraiser donation, and it goes directly to Christus Children's Cancer Center. And that's been fueling my why, and so when it sucked out there and I was just like, I don't know how, like, I really had the thought of, like, this might take me 30 hours at one point because I until I realized that that caffeine was giving me that, like, mega boost, and so then that's when I was just like, "Okay, bring on the caffeine, like, we're gonna use it all." Um, but I kept on just thinking of that, like, "Hey, I need to finish this," and then also I had my annual surveillance scans actually yesterday, that will determine whether or not I need surgery or get another year to run, and so I also was just like, "I don't know how, like, if I'm gonna be able like, what I'm gonna be able to do next." So, keep on running hard and enjoy it. So, yeah. Sorry, it wasn't super short, but that's my why.
No, no, that was perfect because like what an incredible why and what a way to like use what you're going through now and like and make it even bigger. Like, well, you're like an amazing human to take not only like your personal battles, but to use that to spread not only awareness and everything too, because through you, like I learned about that. Because I heard, I think it was you did a podcast after Dino Valley, I believe, where you had
Yeah.
sort of talked about that, or they did a post on it. And so I looked into it and I was like, wow, like I knew nothing about it. So, but like what a way to spread not only awareness, but to also like raise money for such a great cause. It's pretty incredible.
Aimee, can you remind us? I have heard your story as well. I want to say it was on Ultra Sign Up, or what was the podcast that you shared a little bit more of your story?
Yeah, so both the happy endings and then brain tempo talks
Maybe
as
that was
well.
it.
I hadn't it took a
Okay, I listened to
while.
Happy Endings. It must have
Yeah.
been that one.
And it took a while to get everything approved. Like, I was honestly surprised since I wanted to do it directly for the cancer center, like, for the legal it took, like, 3 or 4 months to actually get it going and running before I could get it approved, but, it's yeah, definitely a special cause because the majority of people that have this type of cancer are kids, and it's I can't imagine being the family of a kid who doesn't know like, I'm very fortunate in the military where my medical care is taken care of. Like, I don't have to worry about that, but if you're a family and you're told that your kid might die if they don't have the tumor taken care of, and you're trying to figure out how to deal with that, like, that's has to be so hard. And the kids are so freaking strong. Like, it's really, really cool how much resilience they have and how much they do to bounce back afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I bet that kind of example, just you being aware of kids in that situation, gives you a lot of strength out on the course as well. It seems like when, we're suffering with our own challenges, like, just kind of remembering other people with their challenges and how they face them and how they, um, you know, look for the best in some of those difficult times can be really inspiring. So I'm glad you have that inspiration. And Aimee, thanks for sharing that with us. Just a question. When I've had challenges in life, I mean, running is a great way to kind of deal with it. You kind of get some of the anxiety out and give yourself some fresh air, and it can help you feel a little bit better. But there's also times when I've been stopped short, like, just kind of overwhelmed by a challenge or a situation that I've gone through. How is that for you? Do you have those moments where you're out on a run and you struggle, and how do you deal with that? And just, I guess, how has running been there for you as you're going through this difficult challenge?
Running is 100% an outlet for me. Like, I love it. There's been, like like I said, this race is probably, like, on one hand or, like one hand, I can count the times of runs that I've had that I felt like this race where, like, I just, like, felt flat and, like, just wasn't moving and, like, trudging through quicksand, but I, normally when I'm running, that's not the case, like, it's cathartic, it's a release. There's been many runs, like, through this process that I would have a lot on my plate and would be crying, driving to a trailhead, and then when I run, I just feel better after. And the community is amazing too. Like, I've definitely been into this one many times, as well as like many other runners in San Antonio have been there for me. And initially, it wasn't something I shared. I just kinda kept it in and would just run it out, but then realizing that not only just running, but the community that comes with running is just so freaking powerful. So,
Mhm. Really is. That's awesome. And I'm glad that you have that team and Courtney with you and those people, because that's, I mean, like you said, like the to go through that, to have and especially as like using running as your outlet, to have other people there that you can sort of just like forget everything that's going on and have all these people around you who are super positive and love the
and then
things you
some
love, right?
and just listening to, like, when you're having a really bad time and, like, you have a bunch of life crap going on, like, just hearing fun other things, like, that's
Mhm.
been, like, the best too. Like, you can just go run, have great conversations, and not care at all
Yep.
about the other things, like, just kinda disappear.
Yeah. Absolutely. Um, that's awesome. And, so Courtney, I know that you 2 were both shared the Javelina course together. Um, and so I wanted to sort of know a little bit about your experience, because I know this was your first 100. So tell us about that. How did your first 100 miles go for you?
Pretty well. I
Yeah, for
I
everybody
was
listening,
telling
well, I'm
you
gonna cut you off. For everybody listening, she came in 8th female, just so you all know, which is, like, phenomenal at any race, but, like, okay, sorry, just had to throw that out there.
so I would say I had a B goal of 18 hours, like, I was very confident I could do that if everything, like, went right, um, and I've well, I guess only one race, but, like, been in the top 10 at a golden ticket race before, and so, like, looking at the times of what's typically top 10 here, um, it varies a lot, and so I didn't really know what to shoot for, but I was like, "Well, it looks like 18 hours is kind of, like, usually the average of what 10th place is, so I'll shoot for that." Um, and then, like, A goal, I guess, was similar to Aim's, but I wasn't really going after my A goal. Like, I just wanted to have a good, fun 100-mile experience for my first one. So it was like I was more focused on the B goal anyways. And then also, like, wrapping your mind around 100 miles is just weird, and, like, pacing it is interesting because 'cause you're, like, fully planning on slowing down. Like, if you don't, you probably went out too slow. And so I was like, well, whether I'm gonna run, 15 hours or 18 hours, it's probably a matter of, like, how long I hold the first pace that I start out at, but I'm not gonna change what that first pace is. So I started out and, like, I felt really calm. We were together for, like, a minute on the trail, and then I, like, glanced at my watch and saw my heart rate was 160, so I was like, that's a little much." Um, and backed off, and then, just had, like, a really fun lap. I feel like I'd, like, chat with people for a little bit and then, let them go, usually ahead. And then the second half of the loop, I saw Aimee go into the bathroom and then, like, pass me while I was getting ice, and then I was, like, trying to catch up again, and then again looked, and I was like, "Oh, I'm running, like, a 7:40 mile. I don't think I'm beating your eye." So then I, like, slow caught up a little more slowly, like, I just really wanted to, like, run with her to have another person to chat with. Um, and so we ended up running, like, I don't know, 6 miles together. And that went by so fast. And I wasn't looking at my watch, but I think in my mind, if I had been, I would have been a little, like, anxious about it because that first loop is slightly different and it's still downhill in that section, but it is much harder and if not that downhill. And so Aimee was like, "Oh, I've been here before. I plan on going slower on this part." And I was just like, "Okay, whatever." We just keep talking. We saw maybe like 2 people that entire time. So it just felt like we were out on a run together. And then you come into headquarters and it's like insane. And that was so fun every lap. Like, I definitely like picked it up, but I was like, if I go fast for this, like, quarter mile, it doesn't matter because I'm gonna stop at my crew tent. I can catch my breath and whatever. Um, and overall, I guess I mean, I think there's, like, some luck in there that it was, like, a good day and no GI distress or anything, but it was just a matter of, like, I didn't second guess any decisions, and anytime my crew or pacers told me to do something, I just did it without thinking about it, and I was never, like, rushed at the aid stations. Yeah, I just, like, I feel like I made really good decisions all
day and didn't really think too hard about like stopping for extra time to get something or like rolling my glute on a lacrosse ball. Like usually in aid stations, I'm like, I need to be the fastest one. I can't take more than 30 seconds. And I just didn't do that. But then I never really like thought about why. Um, the third lap is where it like kind of started to get hard on the uphill. I think that was the first like over 10-minute mile I saw, and then the first over 11-minute mile I saw. And I was like, okay, this is fine. Like I was expecting to be this slow by now if I'm on like 17, 18-hour pace. But then once we got back to the second half of the course, which is a nice flowy downhill, I was hitting the same pace as I was like the first and second loop, like back to under 9-minute miles. And then when I came in for that loop, this was the end of the third loop. The next loop was going to be the first with my pacer. I changed socks and like dried my feet because they were getting some blisters. And so that was probably my longest aid station. And when I got up from that, I had been having like kind of achy joints that you feel kind of like after an ultra usually, but this is happening like during and at like mile 20. And again, for some reason, I was just like, oh, it's fine. I'm in a good mood. Like, I'll be fine. And didn't really think anything of it. But starting that fourth loop, I was like, oh, I think it hurt pretty bad. We were moving not super well for like 2 miles, but then it loosened up. Um, and so I just kind of remembered that for the next lap, like maybe don't sit in the chair for more than a minute. And if I need to for some reason, it does loosen up. And so knowing that just helped me not worry too much for the next loop. And then I don't know, it felt like every lap was just kind of the same. Like running with my pacers was fun. Lap 5, it definitely got to that point where you're like really annoyed with your pacer while simultaneously knowing that they're like, doing exactly what you asked them to do. And like they're there to help you, but you're just like, why are you so happy? Why do you have so much energy? Like, are you seeing everyone suffering here? Um, but yeah, I think one of the like pivotal, I guess there were like kind of two pivotal parts in the last 2 laps. One was when the top men started lapping us, and the fourth place man looked like so bad, but he was moving so fast. I think Chris Andrews, and his pacer was like pulling him, and he was just like grunting and like he looked so bad. And I was like, oh, I can't wait to be in that point on lap 5 where I have 8 miles to go and I can just like destroy myself. And so I was almost like looking forward to it. And then I guess the next pivotal point was when I was annoyed on lap 5 that my pacer was like doing a good job. And, we were going through the alphabet because there were like these little like safety signs. So if you had to call someone and couldn't make it to an aid station, you could say, I'm at letter C or something. And we had started like making up a word for every one of the letters. And so my first pacer told my second pacer to do the same thing. And we got to G.
Wow.
And I was like, I'm grateful. And I was like, in my head, I just kept repeating that. I was like, I'm grateful for Hugh for being here, even though he's annoying the heck out of me. Like he's making me run up this hill much faster than I would without him. And like, I'm truly glad he took his weekend to come here. So yeah, like kind of like turned my mental state when it started to get. And then we just ran down people. Another funny one was L. He was like, oh, L is for lick tie because Casey lick tie was like somewhere in front of me. And I was like, oh yeah. That's kind of weird.
Go get her. Yeah.
That's
No,
little funny.
Megan, did they have, I've been on a course like that. It was actually a 20-mile loop course, so similar to Javelina, and they had the alphabet out there, and Megan, when I paced you on it, did they have the alphabet?
For
Do you
Rocky?
remember? Yeah.
Rocky? No. They didn't have the alphabet out there.
Okay. I've yeah, they didn't have it your year, but all the other years they had it, and it was similar, like, I just remember getting to, like, JKLM, like, those are the letters of my husband and me and my kids, like, we were alphabetical order, unplanned,
Mhm.
but I would be like, "Just get to, the family part of the alphabet,"
Oh
and
my
and
god.
I remember I would, like, not acknowledge A,
Mhm.
don't acknowledge B, like, you can't even, like, acknowledge them because it's too early.
That's really a brilliant
So,
idea.
yes,
It's
fun
so
alphabet
fun.
game.
Yeah. It started when we got to F on lap 4, because I told my pacer, like, "Oh, I kinda like looking at the letters instead of my watch
Mhm.
for, like, the numbers." And she was like, "Oh, look, we're already at F." And I was like, "F is for fun." And then that's how it started. But on the first lap, we got to K. It's funny that you mentioned your family's name. My husband's name is Kenny, and I could not think of a word for K. And then I felt terrible. And so I was like, I need to remember to say K is for Kenny on the fifth lap. And so the whole time I was like, A, B, C, D, we got to get to K.
Yeah, so, Courtney, I thought it was really interesting, though, and I want, like, you guys tell me if you're like this as well, but I like how you said you kind of had your B goal, and that was the one you'd kind of, like, focused on a little bit, and I am the same way, like, I have an A goal, but it's, again, like, kind of don't acknowledge it. It's like the one if, like, everything is going really well and it's almost like I surprise myself with my A goal. And, like, B goal is the one, like, "Okay, I'd really like to do this," and C is, like, if everything is kind of going poorly and, down to Z, which is just who knows what. But, are you guys like that as well? Like, the A goal is kind of like I don't know, it's almost like I don't wanna tell it to myself because it's kind of a dream
Mhm.
or a hope.
Yeah, I think I'm like guarding it sometimes. I mean, this time I felt good about it because it was my first 100 miler, but I think I've like thought some after and I was like, maybe I need to like put myself out there a little more and aim higher, even if you don't say it to anyone. Like, I mean, I guess my eagle was like top 10, but I was still so focused on that, like just under 18, because I thought that would do top 10, which obviously the women were way faster than that. Um, but it's weird because, like, in marathons and, like, 5Ks and stuff, I'm way more, like, time focused, like, I want a PR here, and if I don't PR, that kind of sucks. So, I don't know, something about the really long distances, I'm like, I'd rather be more cautious and, like, I think that also
Yeah.
helps put you in a mindset to, like, catch people at the end.
Mhm. It's
Yeah,
also
and
hard
sometimes
to
the A
do a time
goal
goal. I was gonna say it's hard to do a time goal sometimes with trail races, especially 100 milers and things like that, because you do a 100 miler like Leadville, and it's like a whole different world from like your Javelina or Rocky, or even like some that are or like Vermont that I just did or whatever. It's everyone is like so special and has challenges and things. So it's sometimes it's hard to, like, define a goal like that, so, like, honestly, like, props to you to, like, 1, her time goal was 18, she did it in 16 hours and change. Is that
So that's not even the A goal, you blew right past
You
the A
blew
goal
right past
too.
the
What
A
goal is
goal.
that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess
Um,
it's what I said at the beginning is just like I had a plan to like fade by 20% after like mile 25. And so I thought I needed to start at that pace to then fade to sub 18, but then fade just never happened. So
just yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean
Um,
we've said it before on we always talk about Tara Dower just because I feel like she just, like, really talks and, like, puts herself out there, but she says the same thing, she's like, "If I'm gonna go," she goes, "If I feel good in the beginning, I'm gonna go, and I'm not gonna save anything, and I'm just gonna, like, ride the wave of what I'm feeling. If I'm feeling great, I'm just gonna keep pushing, I'm not gonna look at my watch and, like, stick to a pace that I said I was gonna stick to," and so I feel like that's, like that it's kind of what you did, and it worked out for you.
Yeah, I mean, I still went out faster than I thought I would because I was
Yeah.
just going off of like feeling and heart rate a little bit. And I mean, before the race, the last few weeks, I've actually felt like not great at like marathon paced efforts. Um, but again, I was just like so weirdly calm about it. I don't know why. Like, I would just
Mhm.
tell Amy, like, well, we're not going to be running sub 7 miles. So who cares if I can run this?
Mhm.
Like knowing in my head, like probably still affects like how 7:30 pace feels and 8-minute pace feels, but I
Mhm.
don't know. It just didn't really get to me.
Mhm. Well well, congrats right off that. So you had mentioned, like, that you didn't come across, like, any big challenges, like, did you have any setback? Because I know you said you didn't really experience GI distress or anything like that. Did you really, like, feel pretty great throughout the whole race?
Um, Mentally and like energy wise, yes. Physically, I started with I have some like chronic hamstring and glute
Oh, yeah.
pain in my left leg, and it was pretty bad the last like 2 weeks of training. And so, like the Tuesday before, I did like every exercise that's ever helped it, and I don't know if it made it worse, but it definitely
Mhm.
didn't help. Um, Usually, I just like do hip abduction and it all goes away, and so
Mhm.
I don't know then. So it didn't feel great, but it never got worse. And then after lap 2, I was like, maybe I'll just try sitting on a lacrosse ball. And so, yeah, something about running 100 miles and sitting on a lacrosse ball in the middle of it made it go away. And then, yeah, the knee pain early on was weird because you're like, I feel like there's always random challenges in ultras, but like, how many times in training have I run over 20 miles? Like so many times. And my knees have never felt like this. So it was strange, but I don't know. I was in such a good mood that I didn't care. And then
Yeah,
it kind of like stopped. So yeah, didn't, didn't end up mattering too much.
that's great. How about you, Amy? Because I know you said you felt a little bit flat. Was there anything else?
Yeah,
Um
it was honestly just it was just the weirdest feeling for a race because I just felt like it was just like the flat like I kind of I think had almost the opposite feeling of like mentally I want to do that. Like physically, I was feeling really good leading up, like the 2 weeks leading up into the race, and then it was just the very flat and low energy, and so mine was more of, like, that standpoint, like, just not having that, but I didn't have, like my body held up well. Like, the 3rd lap, my, like, hips were cramping up, but it was, like, muscular, and that was really it, and I did kick a rock and got some amazing blisters from that at one point, but, like it wasn't really because of the body or anything else, and nutrition-wise felt good until after the race, I started throwing up, but wasn't throwing up during the race, so that was good.
Mhm.
Had some stomach issues the first lap, but that's normal for me, so, like, normally it's like, yeah, I'm gonna have to have a couple of bathroom stops, and then
Mhm.
I'll be okay the rest of the race, and so that wasn't really concerning for me either. It was really just the energy
Yeah.
levels, and the effort not matching, like, heart rate and paces and just kinda that as much there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I feel like sometimes it's just the luck of the draw like that. It's like that sometimes the day is just not the day. It's just and there's no really, like, rhyme or reason. It just
I
yeah.
I will say it made me so stoked every lap coming through because I, like, would ask about Courtney and be like, "How is she doing?" And would get an update that she was just
Mhm.
rocking it. So that, like, made me so stoked every lap, and, just the overall atmosphere of the race, same thing, like, I had my mom, this was the first ultra she's ever been at, so she came to this race and was crewing, which was amazing to have her there, and then I had, 2 awesome ladies that had come out too, so Grace Kilmer, and then she and Beitlers, they both came out and paced me for a lap, and I was just like so excited to get to them. Like, we have a friend that used to live in, San Antonio that moved to Phoenix, Aaron Davis, and he was out there cheering us on, for a couple of laps, and when he was running with me before picking up Grace on my 4th lap, it was the longest run that Grace had ever done, and he was just like, "She is so nervous," and, like, to go out there, and I'm like, "Oh, she's gonna be fine." And she was amazing as a pacer. Like, she, like, just, like, kept it very lighthearted, but was still helping me push through, and it was I did like, I had to say earlier on, I'm just like, I'm sorry, this is not the day I thought it was gonna be, and I'm gonna push it with everything that I have, but the legs are just not responding, but, like, she, like, helped me through that too, so that was and the same thing with Shannon for lap 5. So it's just, like, the atmosphere of the race, like, being with friends, knowing that, like like, Courtney and other people were doing awesome, like, even seeing, like, the lead people come through, it's just, like, so inspiring out there to just be like, "Okay, this is even if it's not my day, at least I can be a part of it when other people are having their day and, like, enjoy the aspect of it."
I know, I've thought before, I'm like, because I haven't really done any big, like, out-of-state races, I'm mostly just kinda Texas, and I'm like, "I just wanna be at the race with the people, just so I can see them,
It's so
look at them."
It's fun.
And that's also good. I mean, Javelina is definitely on my list because it looks like it's just like a giant party, and I feel
Oh,
like
it
there's
is a
always
bird.
people.
Yeah.
I definitely wanna go back and, like, crew pace or just do the 100K or something though,
Mhm.
because like, I mean, we start and there's not much going on there, and then we finish and there's not much going on there, and you're like, I know there's people, like,
Mhm.
doing dancing and doing acrobatics and
Uh-huh.
stuff, and, like,
Yeah.
you you only see it for, like, 1 minute at a
Yeah, some people are having a really good time.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
just totally not worried about racing and having fun, so I wanna know a little bit, so it's been a week. How's recovery going for you guys? And we'll start with Courtney since we just heard a little bit from Amy, but Courtney, if you wanna just tell us maybe some recovery tips, something that you do that you really like. I know you guys I think I saw the bike shorts. You guys
Yeah.
just got back from a bike ride. So that's how recovery's going.
Yeah, that was her idea. But we went very
Oh, okay.
slow. Yeah, we were barely putting any, like, force on the pedals. I started to feel better yesterday. I mean, I felt surprisingly good, and I think this was, like, how I said I was super calm, like, before and during. Also after, like, as exciting as it was to uh, like, do so well in the 8th and stuff. Like, I went back to our Airbnb and I was just like, "Oh, that was a good day," and, like, fell asleep just fine, slept until, like, a normal hour. Um, and so that probably kickstarted recovery okay. Um, and that day went pretty well. Like, I remember I woke up and, like, ate a bagel right away. We went to lunch, got a beer at the airport. But then when I got home, my husband was like, "Oh, I hope you're hungry. I made this, like, pasta bake." And I was, like, so excited for it, like, looking forward to this dinner on the plane. And then I got the bowl and I was just like, "I can't do it." You know, like, I'm not nauseous, but I, like, can't eat it. So I ate, I don't know, maybe like a cup of noodles. So
Mm.
it was something. Um, and then, yeah, by today, I would say the soreness is pretty much all gone. My right quad is like feeling it a little bit. Um, and then I've still have like kind of random like joint pain or even like not joints. I feel like on the way home from work yesterday, I was like, "Oh my god, I have a stress fracture in my tibia." Like, it was just, like, throb, and
Oh.
then I walked the dogs and it started throbbing, and then it went completely away, and then, like, the bottom of my foot hurt for, like, 2 minutes, and then, like, the side of my knee hurt for 2 minutes. It's
Oh.
like, I don't know. Like, maybe you're just repairing, like,
Uh-huh.
something's going on in the body and they're repairing themselves, but yeah, really just like eating a lot, walking a lot, sleeping as much as I can, even when this little chihuahua wakes up at 5 a.m. But
Oh, it's cute.
nothing special.
Yeah. Well, that's good. How about you, Amy?
Um, so I d- feel like I did pretty good the first two. So I flew home on Monday. And spent like Sunday with my mom. We were just hanging out in Phoenix, and then another friend who went and raced Mel. And the two pacers had left on Sunday night in Phoenix, and so we just kind of had a day prioritize. Like I think biggest thing was like prioritize like food. The night after, obviously did not sleep well since it had so much caffeine, and also got in late, and then we were like slept a couple hours, but then Sunday night slept decent, and flew back, and then I had my like surveillance scans yesterday, and so I'm still waiting on the results for that, for what that's gonna look like for next year, and so I have not been sleeping well. Like just a lot of that was part of the reason for the bike ride as well, is I was just like, I'm not feeling good enough to run, but I need to do something to like just kind of work off anxiety and just not knowing yet. So but was at work today, and then hopefully I will find out, and thought I might find out tonight, might be tomorrow, for what is next. So
Okay. But otherwise, feeling pretty good. No pains or anything like that.
yeah, I like honestly, my mind's been completely preoccupied by that, so haven't
Uh,
really like thought of anything else.
haven't
But
haven't done the check.
but yeah, like my legs feel like sore and tired, but not like anything crazy. Like nothing crazy or big.
Yeah.
I have some tools that need to go. Like that. I think once those are gone,
Mm.
running shoes might be thought about. but yeah. Besides that, like overall, things are doing pretty good.
That's really great. That's that's awesome. Only a couple days out too, right? Like not even a week. That's
I
awesome.
mean, don't need to go through a workout, but
No.
that will not happen. But yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Kelly, do you have anything else for him?
Well, I loved Amy's, like, her recovery tip is to be chill. That's what I wrote down. I was like, "Amy's recovery tip, just be really chill about everything, and you'll be, totally fine afterwards." So, no, I think, just to keep everybody on time here,
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah.
kind of
Oh, do you
wind it
guys have a
down.
quote? Did you guys find a quote for us or a mantra that you guys run with or anything inspirational for us?
I mean, I had a mantra per lap, and then it was like a couple of them stuck. Well, like the mantra changed though, because the first lap was like run with joy. But but then how, like, things kind of progressed in the race, it became suffer with joy, um, and so it worked for me, yeah, so that kind of became the new quote, and it was kind of suffer with joy, and there will be a day that you can't do this, but today is not that day, so just keep pushing with whatever you got.
And I wrote down
Think you're
mantra.
gonna have to get, the Tara Dower Suffer Well tattoo on your
Yeah.
knee.
Make it suffer with joy. Yeah. It's cute.
Do you have a mantra, Courtney?
I had like wrote some things down before.
Mm,
I honestly didn't really like think of them during the race. I guess it just never got like that deep.
mhm.
Um, the letters thing definitely helps because a lot of the like words we were calling out was like appreciation and gratitude and bravery and stuff like that, or like people's names. Um, and so yeah, just thinking about that. The one there were a few things I wrote down before, and I really can't remember all of them. But one of them that I was something about being who you thought you wanted to be. So it's really easy when you're not in the moment to be like, I'm going to be the person who pushes through pain or who grinds it out if it's not going well, or like I've secured the top 10 spot, but I'm still going to go hard the last few miles, even if I don't end up catching anybody else. All of that is
Mm.
who I wanted to say that I was, but you can't say that's who you are until you do it. And so just in any of those moments, like thinking about this is the moment that you're the test of whether that happens or not.
Ooh, I like that. I wrote down be who you thought you wanted to be. 'Cause it's yeah, you how your past self was dreaming of this moment, and
Yeah.
now here you are, but you've gotta make the dream come true, you
Yeah. And
gotta
it
make the
works in
moment.
bad moments too. I mean, I had a terrible race earlier this year at Black Canyon. And I mean, there was a time where I threw up and I was like, I need to stop. And then
Mhm.
I wasn't proud of that looking back, and I didn't stop. So I was proud of that part. And so, yeah, that taught me a lot about like, okay, this mantra works, whether you're already doing good and
Right.
you could be pushing harder, or whether you're really in it and
Mhm.
you want to quit, but you are.
That's awesome. I'm gonna stick with that too, 'cause I
I'm gonna write that one down, Megan.
yeah, no.
No, I tell people that, I had a friend who was, running her first 5K or something, and I got on the phone with her afterward, and I was like, "How did you feel?" And she was like, "Good." I was like, "Wrong answer."
Yeah, I feel
I was
like
like, "You
it's
didn't
even
do it
harder
right."
to do that. The 5K, it's so easy to be like, "Oh, but I could just, back off a little bit." Like, and
Mm,
you
so
can't do
painful.
that when it's a race that matters.
Yeah. Yeah, and so kind of along that vein, I always tell myself, you can either feel good during the race or after the race, but
Mm,
you can't have both. And so if you work hard and put, your guts in it, then you feel good afterward.
mhm.
But if you feel good during the race, you're not doing it right. You gotta hurt a little more to feel good afterward. So, and that comes from experience too, Amy. I decided one race, that I was just gonna enjoy it and just kind of jog and be one of the, be with the people and feel good. And I got done and I was so disappointed.
Mm,
Well, I actually got halfway through and I was like, this this is what I want to do. And so tried to pick it up, but it was too late. I'd already kind of sacked the race and I got done and I was like, you're never doing that again. You're gonna race the race.
Well,
So
speaking of races, before we let you guys go, do we have any future races to, look for you guys or you gals?
yours is more exciting.
So for sure, I'll be doing Hurt 100, which
Ooh.
I am
Sure.
super stoked for. And then if I'm able to race all of next year, I'm gonna do the Triple Crown of 200s. So that is that is the goal for next year.
That is wild. That's, well, 200, first, I've never even stepped into the 200 world, but I can imagine that will be, a wild adventure for you. So that's very cool.
Looking forward to it. I feel like my mind is my greatest strength, and so
Mm.
I feel like the 200s that's will probably be the biggest battle of that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Very cool, very cool. How about you, Courtney?
I'm still deciding. I signed up for Black Canyon a long time ago because of how bad it went earlier this year, and I
Oh,
wanted a little revenge, but also
heck
because
yeah.
I loved the courses, even though it was a bad day. Um, and then kind of before Javelina, even though I liked this training a lot, I was like, oh, but I know I'm so close to a 5K PR? What if I really like dedicated like a season to it? We also have like tons of friends here that are in the thick of marathon training, and I was like kind of getting jealous of it. Like I love
Mhm.
the just the like intense goal of just like trying to ride that pace for as long as you can. So I was kind of like gonna postpone Black Canyon and like dreaming of a marathon PR because it's been a few years. Um, but then I don't know, a few days of thinking about this, I'm like, oh, but it would be pretty cool. Uh, the competition there like scares me though. Like it's always the most stacked golden ticket, it feels
Mhm.
like. Uh, yeah, but just going into if I do it, I'll go into it thinking like I'm here to race my race, and that might be like the top 20 finish is the goal
Mhm.
at time or something. So I don't know. We'll give it
Yeah,
another week or two.
just be chill, Courtney. Just be chill. You'll be fine.
Although we're both signed up for the San
But
Antonio Marathon. Yeah. So I guess there's that.
I'll
Oh,
be
okay.
pacing my pace at the San Antonio Marathon. So Grace is doing that as her first marathon. So I will hopefully be able to keep up with her to be easier for it, but it'll be fun.
When is that? What's the date for that?
Like
Do you know?
December
In December?
4th or sometime early
The-
December.
Yeah, I think the first week of December.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's awesome. So thank you guys so much for sharing everything. Um, we will look for you in your future races. Black Canyon, we got oh, I cannot wait to see. If you go into Black Canyon, you're I can't even imagine. She's gonna be like, "Oh, I'm gonna place top 20." She's gonna come out with like a record
Gold
course
ticket.
golden ticket. But so we'll watch out for you guys. And from Kelly and Aimee, we are so thankful that you guys spent your time with us today and gave us a wonderful like recap of your experience. And so thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.